Welcome everyone to Therapeutic Yoga class today. We are going to have our physical therapy hat a little bit more on than our yoga hat today, but I am really hoping that today's yoga class helps a lot of individuals that are dealing with aging rotator cuff muscles and tendons, because it is a very, very serious issue as we age. So here's what you're going to need for class before we start talking about the rotator cuff muscle. You're going to need a thick plush hand towel or a really skinny bath towel. Now, what you're going to do with it is you're going to fold it lengthwise and then you're going to roll it up. And so as you roll the hand towel up, what you want is for the diameter of the towel to be somewhere around 2 to 3 inches. We're going to be using this in our armpit today. So if it's too big, what's going to happen is you're going to be feeling an awful lot of tingling in your hand and your arm. If it's too small, it's not going to do the magic that we want it to do. Outside of your towel today, you will need a yoga strap. We're going to be using a yoga strap for multiple reasons today. And you're going to need a chair. Now, with your chair at home, what I want you to make sure that you can do with your chair is to use the back of the chair to support your forearm and your elbow. Now, in the perfect case scenario, you'll have it that your elbow is just slightly below your shoulder. If you put your arm on your backrest of your chair and your elbow is at the height of your shoulder, what I would recommend that you do is get a pillow to sit on to bring yourself a little bit higher so that your elbow is lower than your shoulder. If the backrest of your chair is much higher and your elbow sits above your shoulder, then I really recommend you might want to take a moment to go and see if you can find a chair in your household that has a little bit of a lower back in the chair. Because if you do what we're going to do today, which is some magical decompression for our shoulder and rotator cuff muscles, and you're too far up into abduction, you could actually make your shoulder sore. So this is not a therapeutic yoga class intended to be treating a specific pathology. But with all of that being said, I certainly don't want you to hurt your shoulders trying to help your shoulders. So once you know you have everything you need, kind of have yourself sitting in your chair with your towel roll somewhere near you. And let's talk for a moment about the rotator cuff. Now, a lot of times, it's a really confusing thing for individuals to understand. So in order to understand the rotator cuff, you really have to understand how the shoulder works. And I will tell you, as a physical therapist for almost 25 years now, the shoulder is one of the best pieces of architecture in our body, but it's incredibly vulnerable to aging. So here's what I want you to do with me at home. We're going to mimic our left shoulder joint for a second. So take a fist with your left hand. Okay, and then take your right palm and make a nice little shallow curve with it. All right, that's essentially your shoulder joint or your glenohumeral joint of your left shoulder. So it is a ball and socket joint, but unfortunately, because the shoulder is intended to create a lot of mobility, the socket is really, really shallow. So what that means is the ball has a lot of mobility, move forward, backward, and downward, and unfortunately, upward. So unlike a hip joint, so if you took your hand now and made a big, deep socket where the ball sits in it firmly, that is not what the shoulder is like. So the shoulder does not intrinsically have a lot of stability. So what we do is we get our stability of our shoulder joint two ways. One is through the capsule of the shoulder and the ligaments of the shoulders. So those are all things that attach bone, socket, to bone, ball. The second way we get stability through our shoulder joint is the rotator cuff muscles. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So now, keeping that same ball of your left hand, or right hand if you want, I want you to take 4 fingers and gently place the 4 fingers into the knuckles of your left hand. How those 4 fingers are sitting on the top of the ball of your shoulder right now is exactly how the rotator cuff tendons sit on the ball of your shoulder. So they all kind of sit around the top and the back of the ball of your shoulder. There is no rotator cuff muscle on the bottom of the shoulder, which makes the bottom of the shoulder a little bit more vulnerable. Now, here's something that's a really interesting thing. When we look at all 4 of these rotator cuff muscles, and I'm going to name them real quickly for you, but they're just big names. Don't even worry about them. I sometimes wish we just called them 1, 2, 3, and 4. But they are your supraspinatus, which is the one that sits on the very top of your shoulder. Your infraspinatus, which sits just behind it, your teres minor, which sits behind it, and your subscapularis, which kind of comes around and sits a little bit to the front of your shoulder. So they all sit like those fingers and those knuckles that I just described you, up and over that ball. So the stability of our shoulder comes from those 4 muscles sequentially contracting together and sucking the ball into the socket. That is really shallow. So that is the purpose of our rotator cuff muscles. Now, ironically, the word rotator is in the rotator cuff muscles, but only 3 of the rotator cuff muscles actually do rotation of your arm. The 4th rotator cuff muscle, which is the one that's on the very top. So if you took your fingers right now and kind of placed it on the back of your shoulder area, you're sitting right on top of the supraspinatus muscle. And that supraspinatus tendon comes right to the very edge of your shoulder. It is the rotator cuff muscle that we all have the most problems with. 1, because it's not a rotator. 2, because it sits underneath a really big bone, and all of a sudden there's no space for that tendon. So our focus for today's class is to give specifically that supraspinatus and some of the infraspinatus some extra space for those tendons so that they don't get too encroached as we age, as they weaken, as our shoulders don't have as much strength. And then we're going to spend the remainder of class doing yoga-ish type of exercises to strengthen the rotation components of our shoulder. All right, I have talked way too much, but let's get started with doing what I call the Advil maneuver of the shoulder joint. So take your rolled up towel, place your rolled up towel in your armpit on the right side. Now, that ball in that socket, when they're together and they're fitting perfectly, all right, we are happy. We don't have shoulder pain. We can reach up overhead. We can sleep on our shoulder. When they're not perfect, what happens is it creates pain with reaching overhead behind your back. You can't lay on your shoulder, pain at night. Some of you may have already felt that. So what I call the Advil reliever of the shoulder is an exercise that we're literally going to distract the ball away from the socket. And as we pull the ball away from the socket, we wake up those 4 rotator cuff muscles, assuming hopefully they're not too injured already, right? So place that towel underneath your shoulder. Have your right arm, so it's kind of like your palm is up and your elbow is bent. Now take that left hand, and if you can, reach up and around and grab the outside of that right hand. Now, as you do that, here's what I want you to do. With your left arm and your left hand, slowly try to pull your elbow into your side. As you do that, you pull that ball away from that socket. Now, here's where the muscles get to contract and wake up. Push your right elbow into your left hand. Then let go. Pull the elbow closer into your side. Push your right elbow into your left hand. As you do that, those rotator cuff muscles contract and suction that ball into the socket and relax that. Now, you are in a yoga class. Let's see if we can do some breathing with that. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a nice deep inhale, pull the elbow in, and then as you exhale, push that elbow into that left hand. You've got it. 2 more times. Inhale, pull the elbow in. Exhale, push that elbow out into that hand. And 1 more time. Inhale, push that elbow in. And exhale, push that elbow out into your hand. And relax. Take your towel away from your shoulder and just do some gentle rotations of your shoulder blade. Now, if you felt any tingling in your hand and palm or arm area when you did that, don't worry, it should come back very quickly. But you've got some arteries and some nerves underneath there that as you're pulling that ball away from its socket, you're putting some compression on those nerves. So when you do the Advil of your shoulder, just make sure you don't do it for so long that your fingers go completely numb. All right, let's go to the left side. So take that same towel roll, place it in your left armpit. Arm is down to the side, elbows bent. Just gently rest your left palm upward. Then the right hand, bring it up and around and grab that left elbow. Now, in this position, as you take your left elbow and pull it into your side, you're pulling the ball away from the socket. Now take your left elbow and push it into your right hand. You're contracting all 4 of those rotator cuff muscles. And relax. Let's try it again. Pull the elbow into your side, so that's gapping or distracting the ball away from the socket. Now, push the elbow into the hand, contracting all 4 of those rotator cuff muscles. Very good. Now let's do it the 3 times with the breath that we did on the right side. So inhale, really push that elbow into the side of your body. And then as you exhale, really push that elbow into that right hand. 2 more times. Inhale, push that elbow in as much as you can. Exhale, pull it out as much as you can. And 1 more time. Inhale, push that elbow in. And exhale, try to push that elbow out into that hand. And then relax, take the towel away, and just slowly do some circles of the shoulder blade as the hand wakes back up again if the hand went a little tingly and numb. All right, now here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your chair and turn your chair 90 degrees so that as you're sitting in your chair, your right elbow and forearm are resting on that chair. Now, the supraspinatus muscle, the key rotator cuff muscle that has the most pathology. Again, remember, it's not a rotator of the rotator cuff. It's very confusing. But what the function of that muscle is, if your arm is straight down to your side, the function of that muscle is to assist your arm coming out to the side of your body, that first little tiny bit of motion. But unfortunately, that muscle becomes very weak in a lot of us. That tendon, as we age, starts to get gray hair and wrinkles, and it doesn't work as well. And so what ends up happening is the ball ends up riding high. So it pushes upward in that socket rather than staying in that socket when you attempt to lift your arm up and out to the side or even up and forward. So when the supraspinatus isn't working well, or it's angry, or it has some sort of injury to it, the ball doesn't stay in the socket. And so what we're going to do is a beautiful exercise to pull the ball back down into the socket. So grab your yoga strap. I told you our physical therapy hat was going to be on a little bit more today, at least the beginning of class. Take your yoga strap and make a nice good loop with it. Once you have the loop with your yoga strap and the strap is around your foot, keep it around your foot. Allow yourself to take the strap around your shoulder and play with tightening it to wherever you need to lift your foot off the ground. So I'm going to give everyone just a couple of seconds to get into that position. I intentionally wore a sleeveless shirt so you could very specifically see where this yoga strap needs to be. So it's just on the outside of your shoulder, kind of like if you have shoulder pain from your supraspinatus, you feel that outer shoulder pain. Your elbow is resting on that chair and your foot is free off the floor. Now that you have yourself in that position, left leg, place it anywhere you absolutely want to place it. And here's what I want you to do. Take your leg that has the strap around the bottom of it and start to push your leg down towards the floor. As you push your leg down towards the floor, that ball is being pulled downward, and all of a sudden that supraspinatus tendon and muscle is saying, thank you for coming to therapeutic yoga class today. So if you're someone that's got shoulder pain, this oftentimes, if it's coming from the supraspinatus tendon and muscle, this will alleviate the shoulder pain. Now, you can pull it down and you can hold it down, but what I really like to do is kind of just keep pushing on the gas pedal. Keep pushing on the gas pedal. And what you're doing is you're loosening up the armpit area of your shoulder joint, and you're decompressing the upper part of your shoulder joint in a space that's called your subacromial space. I know it's a big word, but that's what you're doing there. So just kind of wiggle it, just kind of loosen up that really squeaky hinge, and then pull it down and hold it there. Now, as you pull it down and hold it, and that ball is being pulled downwards, let's do some strengthening of the rotator part of the rotator cuff muscle. So the supraspinatus is getting help with the strap. Let's take our arm, and as you inhale, rotate your arm upward. And as you exhale, rotate it downward. You got it, guys. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale, rotating up, and exhale, rotating down. Inhale, rotating up, and exhale, rotating down. Give me 2 more times. Inhale, rotating up. Exhale, rotating down. And 1 more time. Inhale, rotating up. And exhale, rotating down. Very nice. Release the tension on your strap, but don't change where your loop is, because guess what we're going to do? Turn our chair around and do that left shoulder. So simply allow yourself to turn your chair around, have a seat on the opposite side, take the strap again around the arch of the foot, around the outside of the shoulder, and place the forearm and elbow on the back of your chair. Again, you should be able to see with my shirt where the strap is. So it's kind of on the outside, it's on your actual arm bone, but it's real close to where you feel that bone on top, which is your shoulder joint. Have the strap taut enough that your foot is off the floor, because that's how you're going to decompress that beautiful glenohumeral joint and give that supraspinatus muscle some help. All right, so start with first just pushing down with your foot. How does it feel? Can you feel that that ball is being pushed downward, and all of a sudden you're creating some good space for that supraspinatus tendon? Then try to wiggle it. Try to really do some work to stretch out that armpit area, that bottom side of your shoulder. Your elbow and hand are not moving, or forearm, I should say. It's just you pushing your foot down as you're loosening up that left shoulder, helping out and giving that supraspinatus tendon some beautiful space. All right, so just like we did on the right side, take that strap, take that foot and push it down. Don't meet the floor, keep your foot off the floor, but keep that tension on that shoulder joint. And then let's do some breathing and some rotation of our rotator cuff muscles. So inhale, bring the arm up, and exhale, bring the arm down. Let's do it 4 more times. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling, exhaling. Keep the tautness of the strap. Inhaling, exhaling, and inhaling, and exhaling. Beautiful job, guys. Take your strap, keep it in your hand. We're not done with it, but allow yourself to turn your chair so you're back sitting, facing me again. Now, we have done a fabulous job to wake up, kind of like turning the lights on in the house of all 4 rotator cuff muscles. We have now done a rescue exercise or a decompression of that shoulder joint to really help that supraspinatus muscle. So now is the time to start working on some strengthening of these muscles. So here's what I want you to do. A lot of people don't have a lot of exercise equipment at home, but everybody has a belt, a scarf, a yoga strap. And so I want to show you today how you can use your yoga strap to strengthen through the rotation component of the rotator cuff muscles. So have yourself sitting at the edge of your chair, feet flat on the floor, ankle joints and arches of your ankles underneath your knees. Roll your pelvis a couple times to make sure you feel like you're sitting on those sit bones. Get your spine nice and tall, and then hinge slightly forward from your hips so that you can't pick up your feet and you feel weight happening through your feet onto the floor. Shoulder blades. Allow yourself right here just to hold your strap around your hands. Take your shoulder girdles and kind of shrug them up a little bit. Rotate them back and pull them down, and keep those elbows at your side as you pull them down. You've got it. Now keep the shoulder girdles and the shoulder blades engaged. Lengthen your neck. Settle your chin into your throat. Left hand, hold the strap. Right hand, pull the hand all the way to the center of your belly. Now, in this position, as you inhale, pull as you pull the right arm to the right. As you exhale, come back to the opposite side. So we are giving ourselves our own manual resistance to rotation outward and rotation inward. So holding here, keep that spinal posture, the shoulder blades engaged. Inhale to the right, exhale to the left. Grip and keep that tension on the band. If you've got wrist issues, wrap the band around your hands and do the exercise that way. Let's do 3 more times before we switch. Inhale, pulling to the right. Exhale, pulling to the left. Inhale, pulling to the right. Exhale, pulling to the left. Anyone feel burning in the outer part of their shoulders yet? I hope so. Inhale, pulling to the right, and exhale, pulling to the left. You've got it. Relax the shoulders. They might already feel like you're using those muscles. And check back in with your bottom alignment. Get your spine nice and tall. Allow yourself to shrug the shoulders. Once the shoulders are shrugged, rotate them, pull them back and down. Keep the shoulder blades squeezed again. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Do the connection of either holding the strap around the hands or just gripping it. And then start with the left hand in the center of the belly. All right, pull the strap. Feel the tension in both arms. And inhale, pull to the left. And exhale, pull to the right. Keep that posture 4 times. Inhaling to the left. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling to the left. Exhaling to the right. 2 more times, I promise. My shoulders are nicely burning. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the right. And 1 last time, inhaling to the left and exhaling to the right. Beautiful job, guys. You did it. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Take your yoga strap, place it down near your mat. That is where we're going next. And then what I want you to do is take your chair, move it out of the way, find yourself in child's pose on your mat, and I will join you there.
Now, as you settle into your child's pose here, let's just check in with some lower half alignment. Can you kind of look at your knees for a minute and make sure that they look like fists width apart? And can you lengthen your neck, settle your chin, rest your belly on your thighs, your chest on your knees? And can you gaze straight back here and see that your toes and your ankles line up with your knees and your hips? Now, we're focusing on the rotator cuff today, so don't reach your arms up. Let's keep our arms entirely below our shoulders for today's class. So just gently rest your elbows down beside you, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gaze back. Now, in this position, what I want you to do is think about if you had those towels or the towel underneath your armpit for a second. Do you remember what you did when you pushed your hand into your elbows and your elbow into your hand? Your elbows are on the floor. If you were to gently push your elbows outward right now, can you feel that contraction in your shoulders? Maintain that contraction. Rest the root tongue on the roof of the mouth, maybe even close your eyes. And let's go through 2 breaths here. So nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. And deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now gently bring yourself up. Let's find ourselves in hands and knees pose. So your knees and your ankles should already be in the correct position. Just take your hips and stack them directly on top of your knees. And then walk your hands so that your wrists and your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. Index fingers are forward. Thumbs are all the way inward. Outer 3 fingers, spread them out. Now, here's what I want you to do. Allow yourself to move your elbows so that you see that those elbow creases actually can rotate. So you can rotate the elbow creases. Once you've figured that out on yourself, it's not a cool party trick. It actually is just rotation of your shoulders and your forearms. Look at those elbow creases and find the position that you can line your elbow creases up with your thumbs. So they're kind of pointed up and inward like your thumbs are. Now, here's what I want you to do. In this position, start to push your hands into your yoga mat. Feel pressure into your index finger, your palm, and your thumb. Now, without moving your elbow creases, imagine that you were taking your hands on your yoga mat and you're trying to turn the hands outward on your yoga mat. So it's like you're trying to physically rotate your hand outward, but nothing happens on the mat because you're pushing downward, but you should feel something happening in your shoulder blades when you do that. So allow yourself to feel that outward rotation that occurs through your hands and feel those shoulder blades engage. Now see if you can keep that outward rotation through your arms. That's also helping your rotator cuff fire. And hold that position as we go through cat-cow. So if you lose it, what will happen is your arm will rotate inward and your elbow will bend, a pure sign that there is some issues with your rotator cuff and your shoulder blade. So see if you can keep that. And let's go through a few cat-cows here. So keep rotating those hands outward on your mat. Take an inhale, sink the belly, lift the spine, lengthen the front of the chest, look upward. Keep rotating those hands out. And as you exhale, pull the belly up and in, tuck the tailbone under, curl the spine, shoulder blades spread, chin to chest, look inward. Can you feel that burning in your shoulders as you do that? 2 more times. Inhaling. Allow the belly to sink, allow the tailbone to lift, lengthen the chest, look upward, keep rotating the hands outward, and exhale, curl everything under, curl everything under. 1 more time here, keep rotating. My arms are getting tired, but see if you can hold it for 1 more inhale into cow pose. And then 1 more exhale into cat pose. Now in your cat pose, walk your hands back. Let's give those wrists a break. Set yourself down onto your heels with your sit bones. And then slowly let yourself fall back into your child's pose. Now, as you fall back into your child's pose, rest the elbows once again down with them bent near your knees. And then find the position that your head is comfortable with, your neck long and your chin tucked. Check in for a second. Are my index fingers pointed forward, upward on my mat? Now, in this position, again, that thing that you did in sitting where that towel was underneath your armpit and you pushed your elbow into your hand and your hand into your elbow, just gently engage and feel the elbow slightly pushing outward on your mat and feel that suctioning, that contraction of that rotator cuff muscles that happens when you do that. 2 breaths here. Nice deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Deep inhale into your belly here and exhaling out. You've got it. Now, slowly make yourself down onto your belly. If you have a sensitive lumbar spine and you do not like to lay on your belly, good time here to grab a pillow or something like that that you can just rest underneath your abdomen so that you're not in end range extension. We're going to be hanging out in Sphinx pose. So again, this class is about your rotator cuff, but by all means, don't irritate your back doing that. And so if you need a pillow to place underneath your belly, go for it, grab it, and then come back and meet me here. Have your yoga strap real near because we're going to do a little bit of strengthening in this position, but let's do some positioning first. So stack your elbows underneath your shoulders, index fingers, point them forward, thumbs inward, outer 3 fingers, spread them outward. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gently pull your shoulder blades up and away from one another. Now, push your index fingers and thumbs down into the mat. You should feel some engagement occurring into your rib cage and shoulder blades. Without moving your hands or your forearms, try to rotate your arm onto your yoga mat. So as you try to pull those arms out, you'll feel that contraction in your shoulders. It's an isometric or an isotonic contraction. Keep pushing outward. Hold there, spread through your shoulder blades. Maybe you're getting some awesome shaking like I am. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale into your belly and exhale out. One more time, deep inhale into the belly and exhale out, and relax your contraction, drop yourself down. Rest your hands onto your crown of your head for a moment and just rest here for a moment. Those shoulders are hopefully burning and you're already talking to you, but talking to you in a good way. So just rest here for a minute and just kind of let your shoulders kind of roll down your back just to kind of wake up everything in your neck and the middle back area. Not our focus today, but certainly a component of creating stability in your shoulder joints. And then bring yourself back up onto your elbows. Find your yoga strap. And you just need the single strap. So don't worry if it's still looped or something like that. That's okay. But now take that yoga strap and place your hands upward and have it so that the yoga strap is shoulder width apart. So elbows underneath your shoulders, and then you should see that your forearms are running parallel to one another. Now in this position, again, if your wrists are a little bit sensitive, you can wrap that strap around your hands so that you don't have to worry about gripping too much. Whatever really works comfortably for you works for today. Now, in this position, allow yourself to take a second to squeeze your shoulder blades all together. Some of us, that may cause a little bit of tension into the outside of our shoulder because that actually puts that supraspinatus in a pretty vulnerable position. Now, completely spread your shoulder blades apart. And what I want you to do is keep those shoulder blades completely spread apart and just drop a tiny bit from there. So don't let yourself sink into the floor because that's going to put compression on that supraspinatus tendon. Can you hold yourself in this position? Shoulder blades are engaged. Can you inhale and pull your hands to the right? Can you exhale and pull your hands to the left? Inhale, pull to the right. Pull those shoulder blades up and away from you. Exhale, pull to the left. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Oh gosh, 3 more. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. Keep those shoulder blades pulled away. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. Just one more, guys. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left, and rest yourself down off those shoulders. Again, make sure that your elbows are coming out to the side so that you're not bringing your arms in full flexion today. We're staying away from that since the focus of the class is rotator cuff. Incidentally, while we're resting here and just maybe doing some circles with our shoulders, if you are dealing with a particular rotator cuff issue, it is nice and a great idea to avoid all overhead activities with your yoga as well as your activities of daily living. It is one of the key things that can cause it to worsen. So just a hint from the field, limit overhead activities if your rotator cuff muscles are already bothering you. All right, back up on those elbows. We have to go left, start on the left side this time. So stack the elbows under the shoulders. Grip the band so that you are the yoga strap or whatever you're using so that you've got tension between both arms. Go to your shoulder blades for a second. Sink them all the way down. That puts tension into those tendons. Allow yourself to feel those shoulder blades spreading completely apart, and then just maybe sink a little bit off of that just so that you can lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and keep those shoulder blade muscles engaged. All right, we're going to the left first for these 5 times. So inhale, pull with the left arm as the right arm goes inward. Exhale, pull with the right arm as the left arm goes inward. That's it, guys. That's all we're doing. Inhaling, keep the shoulder blades apart. Exhaling to the right, lengthen the neck, settle the chin, gaze downward. 3 more. Inhaling left, exhaling right, inhaling left, exhaling right, and one more time. Inhaling left and exhaling right. You've got to take that strap, place it beside your mat. We're going to be using it in a few moments again once we lay on our back. Pick your hands, place them underneath your shoulders, drop your elbows, and gently push yourself back into child's pose. Settle your heels and your sit bones to one another. Belly down onto that thigh, rest the chest down. Keep the elbows nice and close to your body today. Don't reach up to create any sort of impingement or encroachment of those tendons. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Gaze back, check in that you can see your feet in alignment with your knees. All right, now in this position, can you create just that gentle contraction of the rotator cuff muscles? So index fingers, have them slightly forward, thumbs are in. And then in this position, just feel yourself just gently trying to push the elbows slightly outward. So it's like you were doing in sitting when you were pushing the hand into the elbow and the elbow into the hand. Just keep that gentle contraction. And let's take a nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Now just gently push yourself up. Allow yourself to turn to your left or your right side, and we are making it down onto our back. Now, as you make yourself down onto your back, make sure that you have your yoga strap in arm's reach. And then once you're there on your back, we will continue the journey with these rotator cuff muscles. So find yourself on your back. Make sure that you feel that your pelvis is in a nice neutral position. Therefore, your back is in a neutral position. Have your feet so that they're hip distance apart and your shin bones somewhat perpendicular to the floor so that we've got good alignment through our lower half. With shoulder blades, and roll them underneath you for a moment. And as you have those shoulder blades underneath you, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and then just gently place your arms out to the side of you. Have them so that your hands are maybe about 1.5 feet away from your hips. Now, here's what I want you to do. In this position, have your palms up, have your thumb touching the floor, gently engage your shoulder blades and pull them back and down. And then start to
Rotate the palm even further, pushing the thumb into the floor. You should feel some engagement through your joints of your shoulders here. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and just gently hold this position. Now take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. One more time here. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now, without changing the shoulder blade position, just turn your palms gently downward. And as you turn your palms downward, thumb now is facing inward towards the heels, keeping the shoulder blades engaged. Now try to pull the thumb down further into the floor. As you do that, you feel some contraction through your forearms, but that subscapularis muscle, that rotator cuff muscle, this is the movement that it's doing. You're getting a bit of contraction of that muscle, but make sure the shoulder blades stay intact with the floor. Shoulder blades are back and down, neck is long, chin is tucked. Let's do 2 breaths here. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. One more time, deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. Release the contraction. Take your yoga strap, and once you have your yoga strap, what I want you to do is I want you to hold the yoga strap again so that you've got it about shoulder width apart. Once you have it about shoulder width apart, make sure you've got some yoga strap or whatever you're using on the left side of you, and also some on the right side of you. And so in this position, we're no longer gonna tug the strap together and keep that tautness and rotate our arms. What we're going to do now is we're going to lengthen our neck, settle our chin, starting with the right hand. I want you to grip the left yoga strap as much as you can. Double it up with your hand if you need to for security. Then on the right hand, what I want you to do is take an inhale, pull your shoulder blades back and down. And as you exhale, rotate your arm out and feel yourself sliding over that yoga strap through your palm until your hand meets the floor. So what you're doing, I'm going to show you real quickly on the left. If you're holding the yoga strap still, you're just rotating it out as the yoga strap slides through your palm to get hopefully as close to that position as possible on the floor. All right, let's see if we can get this. So keep that yoga strap nice and taut and still on that left side, hand is up. Right side, take the yoga strap again into the palm, kind of grip around it. Take an inhale, shoulder blades back and down, lengthen the neck, settle the chin. And on your exhale, real slow exhale, can you pull your thumb down to the floor, keeping your elbow bent? That's it. Bring it back up, grab the strap up in the center. Take an inhale, shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, slide that strap through that palm as you bring that thumb down to the floor, elbow stays at your side. Beautiful. One last time. Hold the strap again. Take an inhale, shoulder blades back and down. As you exhale, glide that strap through the hand. Thumb is coming to the floor, elbow stays at your side. Beautiful job, you guys. Let's do it on the opposite side. So secure the strap into the right hand. With the left hand, it's just kind of gripped around the palm area. Elbows are down beside your body. Take an inhale, pull those shoulder blades back and down, lengthen the neck, settle your chin. Keep the right hand still. On the exhale, rotate. Rotate that arm out until you can get that thumb as close to the floor as possible. You've got it. Let's do that again. Inhale, shoulder blades back and down. Keep the right hand still. Exhale, rotate that arm outward towards the floor. Excellent job. Grab a hold of that strap again. Inhale, pull that shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, glide the strap through the palm as the thumb meets the floor and you rotate that arm outward. Gosh, I forget. Did we do 3 on the right side or 5 on the right side? I don't know. Let's do 2 more on this left side. Take an inhale, pull the shoulder blades back and down.
Exhale, rotate out, get that thumb to the floor if you can. I know if you've got a tight shoulder, that's not possible, but give it the best effort you've got. One last time, guys. Keep those elbows back and down. Take an inhale, pull the shoulder blades back and down, lengthen the neck, settle your chin, and exhale. Slide that palm through that hand as that thumb gets to the floor. All right. We are officially done with the strap. Throw it away, do whatever you like with it. It is done for today. Now we're going to do just a little bit of gentle opening through the backs of our shoulders. For those of you that might be really feeling your rotator cuff muscles, we're just going to do a little bit of gentle opening. So here's what I want you to do. Take your right hand to your left shoulder and take your left hand to the outside of your right elbow. Now in this position, pull your shoulder down and away from your ear and pull your right shoulder blade onto the mat. Now as you do that, your elbow kind of moves over to the right. That's what I want it to do. Keep that right shoulder blade on the mat. Take a nice deep inhale here, and as you exhale, how far can you pull that elbow towards the center of your body without the shoulder blade lifting off the floor? You've got it. Maintain that position. Give me a nice deep inhale here. And exhaling out. One more deep inhale there. And exhaling out. Release that. Take the left hand to the left shoulder. Right hand, excuse me, to the outside of the left elbow. Take that left shoulder blade, pull it down onto the floor. So the elbow is going to come out to the side. Now keep that left shoulder blade engaged on your mat. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, how far can you pull your left elbow towards the center of your chest, keeping that shoulder blade down? Chances are you're much tighter on one shoulder than the other. See where you are. Holding it here, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Relax the shoulders. Now, one final exercise for our rotator cuff muscles. We're going to bring our elbows up at shoulder height, no higher. So don't allow yourself to have your elbows any higher than shoulder height. In this position, have your fingertips pointed towards the ceiling. Palms are pointed towards your feet. Now, allow yourself to take an inhale and let your arms drop up into goalpost position. And then take an exhale and pull the palms downward towards the floor. Now, don't allow yourself to bring the palms towards the floor that your shoulder blades lift. So you're only going to go as far as you can keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Let's do that 4 times. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Inhale, goalpost position. Goodness, I can't speak today. Exhale, shoulder blades don't move off the floor. How far can you internally rotate actively? 3 more times. Inhale, goalpost position. Exhale, shoulder blades stay on the floor. Where can those arms go as you rotate inward? And 2 more times. Inhaling, goalpost. Exhaling. 1 final time. Inhaling, goalpost. And exhaling. Beautiful. Relax the shoulders. Oh, we are so done with rotating. I think we've done enough rotating for our rotator cuff to call it a day. Let's take our right knee up to our chest for a quick second. Just hug the hands around the shin bone, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Now, can you pull your shoulder blades back and down in this position? And then just let your left leg fall down on the floor. Hold this position. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. 1 more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling. Slide that left leg up. Release the right foot to the floor. Take that left knee to your chest. Hands around that shin bone.
Elbows down beside you, shoulder blades back and down. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, pull that left knee into your chest. Engage through those shoulder blades and then drop that right leg, down the mat. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Hold yourself right here. Let's do a nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. And one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Very nice. Sliding the right leg up, releasing the left foot to the floor. Now that you're in that position, take the right leg straight back down the mat, left foot up and onto the right thigh. Right hand, reach for that left knee, left hand, bring it up and out to the side of your body. Now, think about your rotator cuff for a second. So allow your elbow to be at the height of your shoulder or lower. Turn your palm upward to kind of open up nicely so those tendons have some space in that left shoulder. Take a deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, pulling that left elbow across the body, lifting the pelvis and the low back and the rib cage. Can you keep that left shoulder blade engaged? Lengthen the neck, settle your chin, and then rotate your head to that left side. Now with that thumb, can you just gently engage it a little bit more into the floor? Holding that position, give me a nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. One more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Bring the head back to the center. Start at that left shoulder blade. Unrotate the rib cage first, followed by the low back, followed by that pelvis. Unrotate the hip. Place the left foot on the floor. Slide the right leg up. Left foot comes flat onto that floor. Left leg, right foot up onto the left thigh. Left hand, right knee, right hand out to the side of our body. And take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, gently allowing the knee to come to the left. Pelvis lifts, low back lifts, rib cage lifts, shoulder blade stays down. Have that palm up. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin, rotate the gaze towards the right. Now in this position, can you create a little bit more rotation through that shoulder today? So just gently push that thumb down. Feel that engagement in your shoulder. Holding right here. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Slowly derotating the head first, and then starting at that right shoulder blade, right rib cage derotates, low back, pelvis, hip, placing the right foot back on the floor, sliding the left leg up. Now, before we get into our Savasana, one last thing for that rotator cuff. Here's what I want you to do. Take your arms and place your arms down by the side of your body. Fingertips point them up towards the ceiling. And then in this position, all I want you to do is just very lightly push your elbows down into your mat, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. And as you're in this position, see if you can kind of pull your shoulders downward towards your feet. Feel that engagement between your shoulder blades and the back half of your rib cage. And then holding that position, little tiny bit of strengthening at the final of our class for supraspinatus. Can you try to just gently push your right elbow out away from you, but don't let the elbow move off the floor? As you do that, you'll feel that contraction into the right shoulder. Hold it here. Give me a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Deep inhale in. And exhaling out. And relax for a moment. Elbows at your side, pull your shoulder blades back and down. Feel what you would do right now to kind of push downward with your shoulders like you're pulling your elbows towards your heels. Going to the left arm now with that left elbow engaged on the mat. Just try to push the left elbow out to the side. Feel that engagement in your left shoulder. As simple as that is, it's doing an amazing job for your supraspinatus. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Hold it here. Give me a nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. And one more time, keep contracting, deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out, relax the contraction. Gently slide the right leg down to the right corner of your mat, the left leg down to the left corner of the mat. Rest your shoulder blades in a comfortable position. Let those arms rest out beside you. Let your body be still. And go back to thinking about the beginning of class for a second. So remember that you have a really shallow socket. And those rotator cuff muscles, their chief function is to stabilize that ball in a really shallow socket. So the stronger the rotator cuff muscles, the more stability of the shoulder to allow the shoulder to move. When we start to lose the stability of those rotator cuff muscles, we start to lose the mobility of the shoulders. Laying on the shoulder causes pain, reaching up overhead or behind you causes pain or symptoms. And it all comes back to the root of the rotator cuff. If we can gain that stability in the shoulder, you can regain all of that movement that you desire. And keeping your body nice and still. Thinking about what you did today. How did you do with your right rotator cuff muscles? How did you do with your left rotator cuff muscles? Do you have more weakness on one shoulder than another? I certainly do. And keeping your body still. Gently breathing. Letting thoughts pass as they come. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, circles with the wrists and the ankles. And then gently allow one leg to slide up, followed by the other. Slowly let yourself roll over onto your side. FYI, check out the position you put your arm in. If you placed your arm up overhead and underneath your head, perfect impingement position for your rotator cuff. One of the main causes of rotator cuff pathology you're probably doing on that downward arm right now, by the way. So take a deep inhale, and then on the exhale, bottom elbow, top hand, push yourself up into a seated position. Find yourself in easy pose. So place those feet in a nice, gentle, tailored position. Hands straight at that heart in the center. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin towards your throat. Maybe put a nice, beautiful smile on your face. And then take a deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Well, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you have new feelings with your rotator cuff muscles and you really understand their importance. Have a great day.